Nothing showed up for me, so I don't know what I did wrong. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a sec. And we are live. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of AstroWorld TV. So, as you can see, it's just me and Super Dave here tonight because Dan has some family business going on, some big news in his family. So he is unable to join today. But also, just to let everybody know that Dr. Sass has rescheduled for next week. So Dr. Sass won't be joining us tonight. It'll just be Dave and I talking about all of our topics, astrophotography and stuff like that. But yeah, Dr. Sass will be on next week with his big announcement. So, Dave, what's going on, man?
Oh, I am I don't know, nothing. I've been imaging a little bit. Did
Okay.
some last night. Gonna try and get some more tonight.
Okay.
And then it looks like it's gonna be cloudy on Thursday and Friday night. Get back to it when it clears up again. But it's been pretty good. I can't complain.
Yep.
Been working my butt off. Work's going crazy and I'm patiently just waiting for the 9th of November when I get the hell out of Dodge for a week and go
For
to
a
the
little
Caribbean.
while.
Go to the Caribbean.
There you go. There you
So
go. Hey there, Chris. Wilfredo and Greg and Ross and Jackie. Hey, everybody. Glad you guys can join us on this great Wednesday night.
yeah,
So, the A
happy
team is
hump
here.
day.
Yep. Happy hump day. Yes, sir. The A team is in the house. So, you know how we do it. We're gonna talk astrophotography and have a lot of fun. And I'm sure Dan will hop in every once in a while and stuff like that. But for those who didn't hear, obviously, if you can see here, Dan is not with us tonight. That's why we're on the Zoom chat and stuff like that. But so he's got some family news, some big stuff happening, family wise. So yeah, he has some people over at his house, celebrating and all that other sort of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, he's having a groovy old time.
yeah, he's having a groovy old time. So it's all good. Yeah, and what are you imaging right now, Dave? What have you
I finally last night got the sulfur 2 for the rosette that I took a bunch of 0-second exposures last time I tried.
Okay.
I did try. I went to do it. I'm such a bumbling idiot sometimes. So I went. I think it was Sunday night. It was going to be clear. So I
Okay.
set up my thing to run, hit play, and I got. I'm trying to think. What was my first target of the night? Was the heart. I was going to get some more data on the heart.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of O3 on the heart.
Okay.
And then I did that for like 5 hours of that. And then at a certain time, then I had it slew to the rosette, which then would be high enough to
Hmm.
get the S2 on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to set the uh, flat panel to open back up.
So you were taking a bunch of darks.
So I woke up Monday morning. I had all these warnings. Not enough stars. Can't solve. Not enough stars. I'm like, I'll bet it can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was
Pretty
like,
much.
oh God. And I think because I was rushing when I got home Sunday afternoon,
Uh-huh.
rushing around to go to this concert I went to. And it was like, and I put because after doing the O3 on the heart, I
Yeah.
set it to do flats
Okay.
for the O3 flats after that, and then
Okay.
just keep it closed because it had to wait about an hour. And then once it got to that time, open the thing up, slew center, and start the rosette stuff. And
Hmm.
I put the flat panel instruction over there,
Yeah.
but didn't realize it said closed flat panel, not open flat panel. So I was like,
Whoopsie.
oh my God. So needless to say, I got a lot of good O3 on the Heart Nebula and Malot 15, and then so the last night I was able to fix it and get everything. So
Okay.
it's crazy.
Okay.
So, and then tonight, I don't know. I'm gonna probably get more on the rosette later in the evening because it looks like it's not super cloudy. It's just kind of high clouds, kind of intermittent. But by the time the rosette comes out, I should be fine, and I'll be able to get a couple, 3 more hours or so, maybe 4. And I just, probably go back to do more O3 since the HA signal looks great. The O3 is kind of weak, so I'll probably get some more of that.
Really?
Was that the puppy?
Yes.
Oh, good dog.
What is it? Yeah. So, okay, let's go upstairs. Give me just a second. I'm letting him upstairs.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Come on.
No imaging for Norm. Sorry, Norm. Waiting on the naders to come. Oh, you got naders? That's no bueno. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have the eventual fall winds coming here. So, where 40-mile-an-hour gusts of winds are going to start whipping through here and blowing all the leaves off the trees. Trees are all turning now. And they look beautiful.
Oh.
But before long, the winds are going to pick up and blow them all off. So,
yeah.
Plus, I got to get the scope off the mount, and I got to put my new repair kit on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
all right.
Once I do that, then I got to put it back on. Recollimate.
Yep.
So
yeah, this week has just it's been a whirlwind so far. For me personally, been packing and getting ready to stage. I packed up my C8, packed up my tri-pier, packed up quite a bit of stuff, took them to storage. I still got the refractor rig and everything in the observatory because I'm working on M33. Whenever I get some clear skies again, I will hopefully get some RGB because I got some HA. I even did some O3. And Dan's hopping on.
Oh
boy. Daniel's iPhone.
Oh, on his iPhone. That means he's going to be in a group with a bunch of people.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this ought to be interesting.
It's got to be real interesting.
There he is. We're headed off the rails, people. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, only a couple of minutes. First of all, sorry about Dr. Sass. We did a couple of testing things and found some slowness in the program, and he's been working on it. And unfortunately, Dr. Sass isn't going to be here tonight. He will be here probably next Wednesday, so it should be fine after that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure everybody know he still is coming, and that's it. Also, Eric, I know you got your stuff going on. You're getting ready to die. So thank you and Dave for doing this tonight. I told everybody, gave everybody a precursor that I might have something to talk about this week. On a personal level, Jen has formally left her firm to go join another firm.
Congrats.
Yeah, so a better opportunity on Long Island. So I'm kind of stuck here with these guys,
with the telephone wires.
Yeah, so I'm going to be stuck with that for a little bit. We will probably end up moving somewhere on Long Island eventually.
I was going to say she makes partner. You can get a place up in the Hamptons, dude. Come on.
Well, first, she's already a partner with her old firm, so she got a better deal, but still being a partner in another firm. So it's looking good. So she gave in her notice today. So I got a crap ton of people here at the house, and usually, it's kind of weird, right? Because usually when somebody quits their job, they're like, "Oh my God, are you okay? What are you going to do?" And this is the first time I've had people that have quit their job and they come over with like champagne and food. So, so,
Yeah,
so
this is a good. This is a good reason. When you're leaving your job.
yeah,
This is a
yeah.
good.
So leaving, brighter pastures, obviously, and all that.
Yep.
But I do have company on. I just want to say hi to everybody. I want to say I've been taking a lot of days off in the show, and I feel bad. And I thank you and Dave to picking up the slack when you can.
Yeah.
Totally appreciate it, guys. Really do. We got a lot of stuff going on. I know you, Eric, you got a shit ton of stuff. I'm sorry, going on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We're like the Washington Capitals of astrophotography, winners.
Oh, well, at least you're not like the Clappy
The
Islanders who lose to
right.
the worst
That
team in the league.
Clapper Islanders have to bail out all the time, and
Islanders. How do you lose to the Wild Ducks?
And here I am. I'm caught in the middle of this crap. Okay,
Yeah.
so you see that, right?
Yeah. Eric said, "Caught in the crossfire."
Yes, right.
But,
This is like crossfire right there. So it's like I'm the moderator. Good Lord, help me. Anyway.
But anyway, I just wanted to pop on real quick and give you guys, all the watchers and everything, a little notice. I will be back on Friday. Throwing everything out of whack, and so just today I gotta be with the wife and all the people that are here. So
oh yeah. You got to be a good host.
yeah, exactly.
You have to entertain. It's all
Yeah. Are you not entertained? But anyway. So that's it, guys. Everybody have a great show. Again, I'm sorry I'm not there, but
Hey,
life calls.
that's it. Happy wife, happy life. You take care of that, and you're all good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true.
So, all right, man. Well, you have a good one, though, Jen. Congratulations from us, and yeah, we'll catch up with you on Friday, man.
You got it, guys. All right, have a good show.
Tell her next time, try to plan on a Tuesday or a Thursday instead of a Wednesday.
I will do
that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Sure. Have a good show.
See you, buddy.
All right, man. Later. All right, so yeah. Hey, Seeker, what's going on? Seeker 47's in the house. Yeah, so Jen and Dan and everything. Sorry, yeah, you're gonna be stuck on Long Island a little while longer, dealing with those border 8-9 skies. But hey, well, this is a good thing. So yeah. So yeah, with me, like I was saying, I've been working on M33. Norm, I apologize. I want to bring that up also. I will work on that tonight as far as image of the week. I apologize to everybody. I have just been slammed because I'm sure all of you have heard, I'm going to be moving to Georgia. So we're listing our home this week. So I've been doing a lot of prep work and focus on that and getting this stuff done, so I've been prioritizing that, but I will work on that tonight and get that up and, get the poll up and going. Soon as the show is over, I'll get that done. But yeah, it's I'll tell you right now, I am tired. I'm beat.
It's a lot of work, man. You gotta get your house all straightened up so you can stage it and then show it. And
exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then you realize, why the hell did I keep this? Why did I keep that? What do I have all this stuff for?
Exactly. I mean, right now, my garage looks like a freaking landfill. It's like,
so does mine actually, but that's because we're in the middle of trying to renovate our master bathroom and we can't get the plans right and everything like that. But we got all the material. It's just piled up in the garage, waiting for the final plans to be finished, and then we can do it.
Okay. So that's a good reason, Mine's just straight up trash. Okay, it's just all the stuff when you're bringing. It's like, you realize, why do I still have this? What in the world? I haven't. And then my kids are asking me, Dad, you want to keep this? I'm like, son, if I haven't used it like within the past year, or even thought about it in the past year, it's probably not important enough to me.
I know, but the frustration for me is, I'd like to put my car in the garage, especially now that winter's coming, and it's nice when you can go out to your car in the garage and your windows aren't iced over, everything like that. So
yeah,
but
it's pretty crazy right now. And so a lot of stuff. Like I said, so I packed the C8. My Edge 8's all packed up.
you have the original box it came in.
Yep. I got the original
See,
box.
that's so important.
Yep.
That's a good astrophotography project or
Yes.
topic. If you
Yes.
buy something like that, keep the
Keep-
original packaging, because
Absolutely.
you never know if you're moving
Yep.
or if you upgrade and you sell it to someone. You have all that original packaging to make sure it's nice and packed, nice and stable and safe, and then you can
Yep.
ship it if you have to, or just
Exactly.
in transport. It's just
Exactly. So
Yep.
yeah, the Tri-Pier's packed away, the Rasa's packed away. Everything is pretty much packed away with the exception of whatever is inside the observatory. So it's set. So yeah. So yeah, we list on Friday. It goes live on Friday. They're taking pictures from
So what happens if somebody comes and looks at your house and goes, "Hey, does that come with the house?" And they point to your dome with the tripod, with the pier.
everything's negotiable.
Okay, all
Everything's
right.
negotiable. Hey, for the right price, everything is negotiable.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer.
So yeah, I mean, but I am planning on taking it with. So when I get down to Georgia, speaking of heading down to Georgia,
I heard the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, and I had a very cool message sent to me by Amy Little. She reached out to me.
Oh, good. How's she?
Yeah, she's doing great. Amy Astro.
She's not going to be far from where you're going, right?
No, she's not going to be too far. So she told me to definitely connect with her. And she told me several astronomy clubs that are in the area and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I will plan on connecting with those astronomy clubs when I head down there.
Nice.
And of
Get
course,
some Amy and Eric collaborations.
Exactly. And that's what I'm thinking. Maybe we can do a couple collaborative videos or stuff like that. And and check things out, because she's been going through some changes, some family changes as well and stuff like that. So I was glad that she was reaching out. Really appreciate that, Amy. And I'm looking forward to heading down to Georgia to get down.
Georgia on my mind.
Exactly. So I did have a couple things because every once in a while I'll things just pop up into my head, comes into astrophotography, and I'll just put them into my phone here. And one was, oh yes, for the ASI Air users, I'm not sure how many have seen this. I'm sure most of my ASI Air friends have seen this, but the new version 2.3 is out for public testing right now. It's not a general release yet, but it is out for public testing. And one of the big things as far as the new feature, wait for it.
Uh-oh.
Supported CAA rotation control.
Oh, okay.
It's coming, folks. It's coming. So
yeah, but wasn't it supposed to be already out a year ago?
I know. But hey, it's in the software package now.
That's good. That's a plus. That means
that again, I don't know how it will never support all hardware. The ASI Air will never support all hardware. It'll never happen. I am like 99.98% sure. It will never support all hardware. It'll support DSLRs, certain levels of, certain types of DSLRs, and all ZWO stuff. And it'll support the mounts.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the version that comes out that won't even support other mounts.
Oh, the mounts, yeah.
They'll be like, nope, you can only use the AM5 or the AM3.
Yeah, then that's gonna be that's when
That'll be like everybody goes,
that's
okay.
when everybody's gonna be starting to come out with their pitchforks and their
Yeah, I mean, but granted, the AM5, AM3. I mean, they're
Oh,
great.
man,
They're
yes.
great mounts, and
I'm letting
they're
everybody
great
else know.
mounts, and a lot of people have them.
Yeah. So let's see. So supported CAA rotation control. Supported go-to target at specific angles and within Sky Atlas. When using the rotator, it would automatically optimize frame angles when building a mosaic in the plan mode. It's adding a device lock feature. It's adding a ZWO ASI mount EQ and Alt as mode, so as you can switch between the two.
That's good.
With the ASI Air. Adding a clear sequence feature, so you can actually clear your sequences. And a few other things. Added a storage formatting feature that fits file name of the DSLR camera will record the ISO and temperature. I thought it already did that. I know it records the ISO. I thought it recorded temperature too. But
yeah, I mean, I thought it. Well, I mean, it takes raw fits, right?
Yeah, it does.
So you would think
raw fits. Unlike if you were using any other software, or like if you were just shooting the Comet straight raw, you would get the CR2 files. But if you're using an ASI Air, it'll save the FITS files.
Maybe it does. Maybe it hasn't been. I know in Nina, when you set up where you're saving the file to, you can like fine tune all the information that goes into that FITS header.
Okay.
I mean, target name, temperature, gain, what filter, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you could end up with a FITS header that's,
Stu
6 feet long, with all the information you can put in that FITS header. I think by default, though, it automatically does gain, temperature, and something else. Automatically it does, and filter maybe.
Filter, okay.
Yeah, so automatically it does, or camera, I think is what it is. So whatever camera you're using, what temperature and what gain, it defaults automatically, it does those. But you can add, if you're using a mono camera, you can add what filter, you can add the target name, you can add, I'll tell you, let me pull my thing up right now, I'll tell you. You can add.
Chris is asking, I think you're thinking of the file name.
But that goes into the FITS header as well.
Yeah.
The file name is one thing. So it'll give you the file path, which you put it in, and then it has the image file pattern. And you can put, the date and time. Yeah, that's one of the defaults is always date and time. And then you can do what camera, what bin, what the camera was binned at, the camera name, camera gain, camera offset, camera readout mode, camera temperature. You can, you can set the full width half max out of Hocus Pocus. If you're using Hocus Pocus, it'll put that in there. It'll put the eccentricity of the stars for every image, and that's on the image file pattern. So within that FITS file, the pattern that it's going to read out, is all going to be in there. That's like, when you go into PixInsight and you read the FITS header, there's a lot of stuff that's, red because it's not in there.
Right.
Well, if you can add a lot of that stuff you could put in there.
Yeah. And that's like Chris is saying here. Yeah, it uses the FITS header information to make the file name. Exactly. It uses a lot of that information.
Well, but the file name is just, for the FITS, for the
it's taking all that data from the FITS header to create and uses that as the file name. Uses pieces from the FITS header to create the file name. It uses bits of information off of that header.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. So yeah, that's so for ASI Air folks, that is a new feature that's come out, and so enjoy that. One also, when I was surfing on Facebook and some of the Facebook groups, there was a question that was asked that maybe maybe wanted to talk about as a topic. And the question was, if you use dither when imaging, then use drizzle with weighted batch pre-processing,
I saw that question.
what do you set the drizzle amount to? 1 time or 2 time? Is it DSO specific, rule of them, or the equipment used, or based off the equipment that's used?
For
So
me, it's if I drizzle, it's usually 2 times.
yeah. So usually for me, it's 2 times. And the question now is it DSO specific, or is it based off of the equipment you're using? Because you usually drizzle when you're undersampling, if I'm not mistaken. It's when you're undersampling is when you're dithering, and then if you have undersampled data is when you would drizzle. So for me, it would probably, a lot of it would depend, on the equipment, because if you're looking at how many arc seconds per pixel, your combination of your equipment, your imaging train, your camera, as well as your OTA to determine your arc second arc seconds per pixel, then, and if you are undersampled, that and you would dither. So when you put it into PixInsight and you're doing WBPP, or even if you're using APP, Astro Pixel Processor, it's recommended to dither. So I'm sorry, drizzle. So yeah. Yeah, and so when it's undersampled, I would say you would do 2 times, and for if it's everything is perfectly, everything is sampled as expected, then 1 time, would probably be, just fine. And even Chris is mentioning here, PI folks say drizzle 1 time when it's properly sampled. So like I'm saying, and 2 time when it's undersampled. So there you go. So it was, and for me, do you drizzle all of your images, or does it depend for you? Does it also depend on what the object is as
You
well?
mean, do I dither?
No, you dither all the time, but when you're doing processing WBPP, do you also drizzle 1 time?
Yeah, I always do,
You always do?
because you get a higher resolution photo.
Okay.
So I mean, now granted, it does take a lot of extra time to do, obviously, WPPT, depending on how many files you're stacking and putting together. Takes extra time, but for me, that's, it is what it is. And then,
Right.
but like some things like Blur Exterminator, Star Exterminator, the exterminators take a little longer on those higher resolution files. But I find that they're easier to process at that higher resolution.
Right. Right.
And then once I'm done, I'll scale them back down. But I've done both. I've done
Okay.
both ways.
Okay.
I've always, I kind of side towards always drizzling, and
Yeah.
and typically it's just 2 times. So
Okay.
double
Regardless if you're properly sampled or
yeah,
undersampled,
typically, yeah, typically.
Okay.
Because if I'm undersampled, it always shows up, and then I don't do it, and then I end up, oh my god, my stars are square.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll just do it anyway, and that way I end up with nice round stars, and then once I'm done processing it, and I just scale it back, if I resample it back down to normal size, everything still looks fine. Everything still looks good.
Gotcha.
So, but then again, I guess I could drizzle one time
Mm-hmm.
and it would just make up for that, square stars.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tried it one time. Maybe I should try that.
Chris says he shoots bin 2 on the Edge 8 and also drizzles 2 times. I do that as well. For me personally, with my Edge 8, I do the same thing.
Yeah, so that would make sense because you're basically you're binning 2.
Yep.
And you're drizzling 2, so you're basically getting it back down to as if you ran everything in bin 1.
Bin 1, yeah.
So makes sense.
Yep. Yep. So that was so there was that question in that topic. So yeah, think that was a pretty good question. And if and I'm going to keep, every once in a while I'll start, I surf through, and check out a lot of the forums and a lot of the groups, and if a question looks, worthy of chatting about, I'll add it in.
Yeah, I'll chime in from time to time if I have time. I'll just kind of be at work and I'll look at it and I go, "Oh, that's an interesting question," but then I'm like, I don't have time to get involved, so I put my phone down and get back to work.
Yeah, there you go. So,
but I did see that question. It was funny that you mentioned that because I saw that. And as soon as you started reading it, I was like, oh, I remember that question.
Every once in a while, they do have some pretty fair questions that, are worth, sharing,
Yeah, there's always good ones that are like, wow, okay.
Yeah. So that was one of those that was worth it. So yeah. And right now, I'm sorry, I'm being honest, I'm wiped. So if I feel spaced out or zoned out or anything like that, I apologize. Like I said, it's just been, a long day. I know one thing's for sure. Once this is all done and I get the poll up and running and I'm done, I'm going to sleep well.
Yes, sir.
But yeah. But so I'm going to be very curious. Right now, there's clouds, and it looks like there's going to be clouds in my area for some time. So somebody must have bought something in my area, and I'm going to have to hunt them down because I know it hadn't been me. I haven't bought jack yet.
It could have been somebody in Terre Haute.
Yeah, you never know. So, I mean, it's yeah. It's crazy. And
looks like Jackie did some solar today.
Yeah.
That looks pretty nice. She did some solar.
Did she post it on Discord?
Yes, she did. It looks very nice.
Let's take a quick look at that.
Wow, a lot of activity going on in that photo.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay. So let's me share.
That looks good, Jackie. I like it. Pretty cool.
So, oh wow. Yeah. This is with the Lunt 50.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of activity. A lot of great disc. Very, very nice disc. So, and this is with the Sedna, which is the Player One, I believe, IMX 178. So
very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Good stuff. So nice.
You heard that, Tom? I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, that looks really, really good there, Jackie. So nicely done. So
Tom's been trick-or-treating. It's tomorrow night, Tom, not tonight.
Oh, yeah, Tom, you're a little early. I think, yeah, you're a little early, bud. Are you just, or are you probably you're not trick or treating, you're just dipping into the candy, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're dipping into the candy. We know, I get it. But Jackie, are you gonna put that in image of the week for this? You're gonna submit that on, drop that in on Saturday?
Drop it like it's hot, and it's the sun. It's hot.
Maybe. So But yeah. But no, that was a good one, Jackie. So thank you for sharing that.
Saturn's
Grandkids.
rings tilted this month.
Oh, really? Well,
Tilted as in
so it's not face on. It's not. Or
they said by March they're going to be square on. They said, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah, I can't do any planetary. Like I said, the Edge 8 it's boxed up and it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back out until it's in Georgia. But
I
anyway.
saw Trevor did a video doing planetary with his big ass 14-inch Dob.
Uh-huh.
But it's a go-to, and man, his image came out good. He did Saturn. It looked really good. It was like, wow.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen the video yet, but I'm really also I can't wait to start seeing some images from Dylan with that big old C4.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for some images, Dylan. You talk all this stuff about this, that, and the other. I want to see some imaging.
Yeah.
Come on, what you doing down there, down under?
I think he said he had to wait for another piece so that he could get it going. In the meantime, he was using it mainly for visual, but he was waiting for something. What the heck was it? I'm trying to remember, but he was waiting for something that had to do with his guiding.
Okay.
He was waiting for that, and as soon as he got that, then he'd be up and running for imaging.
Gotcha.
For now, he was using it for just visual.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, that's a great scope for visual too.
Oh yeah.
He posted a short today about compare. What's the best? What his opinion was on what's the best scope for doing long, high focal lengths, and comparing the Schmidts to the Dobbs. And he was like, well, you got to go with a Schmidt because the Schmidt, you get so much more focal length out of such a smaller package. And
yeah.
And at the end, he's like, sorry, Dobb snobs.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, God.
Speaking of C14s, what's Scott been up to? Honestly, I don't know. I hope he and his family are doing well down in Florida. But I honestly haven't heard from Mr. Scott in a while. I hope to hear from him, at some point soon. But I will have to check in with Dan, see if he's heard anything.
Yeah, I'm curious how he's doing. And Jackie, I wonder not Jackie, Jessie.
Jessie, yeah.
I wonder how she's doing.
And as well as Pete,
Well, Pete's living the large.
Yeah, I know
he's living. Pete's living the good life.
Yeah, I know he is, but still, it'd be nice to say, see how, have him pop in and, just, give us an update, see how things are going.
Now that it's hockey season, he has no excuse. He's got to come on so we can together we can bust Dan's balls about his team.
Yeah, how you can bust his chops, right? So, no, I get it. Fine. Secret 47 says, Dave, I saw it yesterday. Saturn, every 15 hours, the rings rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. Trevor Jones did a good job. Yeah.
Every 15 years. Yeah. Every 15 years. So it depends on how the rings look. So when they're, straight on, it's kind of wild, I would imagine. But I bet even more so is when they are completely, around the whole, you're looking at a ball in a disc.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
That would be wild.
That would be wild looking.
That would be crazy. So no, that would be pretty darn cool. Yeah. And we have, we're going to do the image of the week, and that's going to be coming up soon. There was one entry for novice that I saw, but only one entry for novice, but several other entries for experienced. I really want to encourage those our novice astrophotographers astrophotographers that are really just getting their feet wet and learning, the ins and outs of processing and, or just integration and capture, stuff like that. We'd love to see your images when you, once you're done with them and get them set up, even if it's one of those. I remember my very first image
You don't
using
want to
my
see mine.
I had my T3, a T3i, and I took the whirlpool, and it was like 1 10-second shot, and I just went absolutely nuts. It was game over. I'm done. I found it. This is what I'm going to be doing for a long, long time. So if you've got images like that, if you were using a sea star, if you got one of the sea stars or the dwarfs, and you're learning off of one of those and these nice little sub $500 smart telescopes and stuff like that, drop those in as well. We really like checking out those photos and those results from a lot of these smaller smart, quote unquote, smart telescopes.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Sea Star being under $500, as well as the mini dwarf under, I think it's even under $400 for the mini dwarf.
Yeah.
Saw.
That was another question I saw in learning
Yeah.
astrophotography. Somebody asked, what do people think about the C-Star 50 being a beginner telescope? I was like, duh.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
For the price, beginner,
price.
you get everything you need, and you can get your feet wet in astro imaging, and there's nothing wrong with that being a starter. And granted, it's got its limitations, and you'll realize that soon once you start to use it. But
yeah,
if you're going to catch the bug and you just want to spend $500, it's a great beginner.
That is serious budget astrophotography.
Yeah, it's a great beginner. So
that is a great beginner setup.
Yeah.
And you can do solar as well as deep sky.
And you can take it anywhere.
Anywhere. So it'll know exactly, it'll know exactly where it is. It'll set its own self up. All you got to do is say, I want to go here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Eric, got a lot to learn. Teach me, Eric. Got a lot to teach me. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to help out and stuff like that. One thing, speaking of learning and teaching, I got a email from the Masters of Pix Insight. They have their photos. I think it's like pixels to photos or photons.
Yeah, to photos. Yeah.
Photons to photos. And that Kevin Secret 47, that is a great tutorial. If you hop in on those, only for $35, they usually use one-shot color data. So, and they walk you through, for $35, they walk you through getting familiar with using Pix Insight. And if you don't have Pix Insight yet, don't worry, you can download a trial. And I believe you get like a month for the trial, if I'm not mistaken. So you can download the trial, and then they'll give you the data that you can work with. It'll be part of the $35 cost, that you can download the data and work on this on your own or alongside Ron and Warren, and start learning a lot of the basics on using Pix Insight with a one-shot color camera. And it applies to even if you're using a DSLR or anything like that, because it's pretty much going to be the same setup using a color camera. And they do some great work for $35 to get your feet wet and to get introduced to one of the top astrophotography processing packages, and to learn it from ambassadors, Pix Insight ambassadors, because they're both Pix Insight ambassadors. $35, you can't beat it. So,
Oh, it's actually really good.
yeah,
Really good.
yeah. So it's PixInsight.
And wait till you hear what Dr. Sass, when he does finally come on the show, has for us.
Yes, PixInsight's the software. So it's photons to photos.
Photons to photos, masters of, and it's
Yeah, yeah, good.
PIXINSIGHT. PixInsight. $5 coupon code bubble till tomorrow night.
There you go. So here, we will even, I'm gonna pull it up here.
And they have all their stuff. They have like a beginner's level, intermediate, advanced. I mean, just their beginner's levels alone, for $35. I mean,
Yes.
it's a great starter, and it teaches you how to use PixInsight. Now, granted, you have to have PixInsight, and that's not $35.
No, but you can download a trial.
You can get a trial for 30 months and then pay
$35
$35 and try it out and
Try it out. Yep.
see how. But if you're taking images and you want a tool that's going to give you the best results, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And like I said, Dr. Sass is supposed to be on tonight. He's going to be on, I guess, in the future, but he's got a tool that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And it's going to blow people's minds. Now, granted, it's not going to take over for PixInsight, but it's going to make things to where you take that image you get from him and put it in PixInsight, and half the work's already done for you. And it's pretty impressive.
So here's the website for those interested, and even on the replay. So Secret 47, you can check this out. It's mastersofpixinsight.com. All right. And if you can sign up for one of their workshops, but if you go to the next workshop, click on the next workshop icon. Their next workshop is called Photons to Photos, and they're going to be working on the Bubble Nebula. And this is going to be narrowband and RGB. So it's a 2-hour workshop.
Cool.
Happening in about a couple weeks. So it's all the details here. So to help you out.
Oh, and Ron's doing that one too. So that'll be a good one.
And it'll be a good one. And it's unlimited access for $35. So yeah, so you just follow these instructions, sign up. They even give door prizes from their sponsors, like these sponsors here, Celestron or Optilong. So
Yeah,
you could win a door prize.
yeah, their door prizes are nothing to shake a stick at either. They are really good.
For sure. And if you wanted to, you can even sign up and you can purchase some of their series workshops.
Well, Frady will pay me for a class. No, I'm not qualified, dude.
So here is this is one that I got started with that helped me out so much. It's when I finally decided to say, okay, I've made the investment in PixInsight. I'm going to use it more.
Real quick. So yes, PixInsight is a one-time purchase. Once you buy it, it's yours forever. And they are constantly updating it and upgrading it all the time. And it's open source. So you have a lot of contributors that offer scripts and stuff like that. Like SETI Astro, Frank from SETI Astro, all his scripts in PixInsight free.
Yep.
Don't charge you anything. There are a couple that are pay. You have to pay to get, like the exterminators, blur exterminator, noise exterminator, but you can get those as a package. And I think it's still less than $100, and you get all three processes for less than $100 that are add-ons. But you don't need them because PixInsight comes with the tools you need. Yes. Now, the exterminator tools make things a lot easier, but you don't have to have them. But the thing with PixInsight, it's a one-time purchase.
Yep.
And
the trial is 45 days. It's a 45-day trial.
And unlike Photoshop, it's not a subscription.
Exactly.
You know, once you own it, it's yours. And PixInsight, I think you can put on as many computers as you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it on 100 different computers with your license. Where, you know, I think APP, you're limited to like three computers. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't put them on a bunch of different computers.
Yep.
But yeah, PixInsight is
and
worth every penny.
If you're using, you can get different formats. They have, if you're using a Mac, it's good for Mac. If you're learning Linux, you can even get a Linux
version. That's right.
Version, as well as for Windows. So it's pretty cool. So all you need to do is just go to pixinsight.com/trial. And like I said, it's a 45-day trial at no charge.
Yeah, which is even better than most trials. You only get 30 days.
Exactly.
They give you an extra 15 days.
15 days. So it's pretty cool stuff.
And the learning curve's not that bad because there are a lot of people out there that have tutorials on YouTube. You know, perfect example is
you know, our own Visible, you know,
Visible Dark. Yeah, Sean Nielsen. He does a ton of stuff and shows you how the PixInsight works and everything like that. Steve Miller, Adam Block. Adam Block has a lot of free stuff on YouTube that you can watch. He doesn't go into the really nuts and bolts of it. If you join his website, then yeah, you get into more of the nuts and bolts of it. But a lot of his free stuff on YouTube is enough to get you going and kind of familiarize yourself with the dashboard and how everything works and stuff like that, to where, man, the people get it and they get intimidated because they think it's a huge learning curve. But if you just watch some of these videos and you just kind of do what they do and you get a routine.
Yep.
And then, you know, once you get into a routine, then you go, oh, well, let's try branching off to this. Let's try branching off to this. And because there's so many different processes that it does.
Yeah.
That, you know, once you kind of figure out the layout and the dashboard and everything like that, it's like buying a brand new car these days. There's so many bells and whistles on new cars these days. And people always come to me, you know, because I work on cars, and they're always like, oh, I can't get my car to do this, or I can't get my car to do that. And I'm like, well, what kind of car is it? Well, I don't own that kind of car. Did you open your owner's manual? You know? Did you check on YouTube? It'll show you how to do it. But then, you know, they bring it to me, and I have to go through the owner's manual and go, oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of cool.
PixInsight does not work on iPads or tablets. No.
Yeah, no, you need something with a much more processing power.
Processing power. You need you need something with quite a bit more processing power.
Yeah. You need processing power. You need a PC that's dedicated for your astrophotos, because you're dealing with large files. You know, once you stack everything and put it all together, you've got a pretty good size image that you're dealing with, and it's labor intensive to your CPU. And then, you know, there are some processes and scripts that you can work through the GPU with TensorFlow files and stuff like that. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can use the CUDA cores, and it helps speed things up, and it works great. That's part of the learning curve too, but there are, like I said, tons of videos out there. They show you how to do it. Frank from SETI Astro is great. He explains everything real well, shows you how to download it, where to install it, everything like that, and everything's a breeze.
Seeker, you can, of course, you can use it on the laptop. It's just, remember, because you need some sort of a computer, you need a PC, either Linux-based, a MacBook, or a an IBM, you know, compatible PC, Windows-based PC.
Yeah.
So you can use a laptop for sure.
When I first started, I used it on a laptop. It would take forever.
Just know if, depending on the type of laptop you have, how much memory, how much storage, processor, you know, speed, And if it comes with with maybe an integrated NVIDIA card, or versus just a basic video on motherboard video card, things like that.
Yeah.
Take those things into account. And that will affect, and that could affect performance. Just to let you know, just as a heads up, it can affect that, affect performance. But
Yeah.
if you've got a beefy laptop that you've tricked out with plenty of memory, and you bought, say, like maybe an Apple, I don't know, I'm not, like an M2, like the M2 processors or whatever they are, or you got them with the Intel, i9s, or an AMD 5900, or the Ryzen. If you've got something like that, and you threw in and you spent the money and you made the investment on a solid laptop, you should be fine.
It'll work. Yeah. I started with mine on a laptop, and I think it was i7.
Yeah.
It had a
high-end gaming laptop. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Anything. Think of, if you're looking for a computer to do astro processing, gaming laptops, astro processing, very compatible.
Very, very, very compatible.
Because it's all about the
the GPU.
How fast? Well, GPU and the CPU speed.
And the CPU speed.
Yeah, the processing speed.
Yes. Yes. So,
but it would take a while on my laptop. I remember when I'd put everything into stack. I mean, I'd click and then go away for an hour or more, and it took a long time. I remember when I first started doing it. Before I got PixInsight, I had APP.
Yep.
And I'd load everything into APP, and I'd go, and man, that thing would take forever. And I was just listening for the bong, I could walk away, and I just know once I heard bong, I was like, okay, it's done finally.
Exactly. You're like, all right, finally, now I can go to the next step.
It was like cooking a casserole.
Exactly. Bong, it's done. But yeah, definitely a gaming laptop, a gaming rig. My personal computer that I have here, it's a Ryzen 9 5900. I invested in memory. I put in 128 gig of memory in this.
Same with me. Yeah.
I got I started out with an AMD GPU, but I wanted to take advantage of the NVIDIA CUDA core, so I ended up getting an NVIDIA GPU.
Same with me.
Got that going, so that helps out, a lot. Lots of storage. One thing also, you need to have a plan for storage. Either you're utilizing a DAS or a NAS, or you have an external
tons of backup hard drives. Yeah,
exactly. Because you are going to be grabbing these files on average, they could be 25 meg sometimes, something like that. But if you have a full frame, you're talking a 50 meg file.
Yeah. I mean, the files are huge.
The files are huge.
I have my main
Seeker higher.
Yeah,
right now. You're saying
16 gig or 32 gig.
You need to go higher. Get as much memory as you can afford.
Minimum 64 is exactly.
I would strongly say minimum 64.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah. And then as far as memory, you're talking. I mean, I've got 11 terabytes of memory in my PC.
You mean storage?
Storage.
Storage.
And it's almost full.
Yeah.
And I've had this PC for a little over a year. Probably going on 2 years.
Okay.
But it's like, I'm looking at getting a NAS, and getting a NAS that'll hold 32 terabytes of data.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the whole thing with this hobby is you don't want to throw anything out, because you can always go back and use that data and add more data to it.
Yep.
If you're using, especially if you're using similar scope or same scope, like year after year, a lot of times you find yourself, well, I'm shooting the same target over and over and over. Well, go back and see how good you looked at it last year. get more data on it this year, and then take that data from last year and put it with this year's, and now you're going to have real good data. So storage is a big,
Yeah,
big
and I stand
thing.
and I stand corrected. My 2600 mono, I'm looking at the FITS files. Those are 50 meg a piece, no
Yeah,
matter what
yeah,
they are.
yeah.
Those are 50 meg a piece. So if you can, so a full frame is probably a little bit bigger.
If you have a 294 mono in bin one, they're almost 75, 80 meg.
Yeah. So
Each.
because I'm
They're
looking
huge.
there. Mine are for the M's. Those are 25 meg. They're 25 meg for the 294.
294 mono in bin one.
No, sorry, this is bin two. Let me look for
Yeah, so
let me
yeah,
look for bin one.
they're almost 70 meg.
So yeah, let me take a look at this here. Those are all bin two.
Mm.
Iris go.
I have some. Let me see if I can find
Let
one.
me see here. Yeah, all of mine are bin two. Wow. Oh yeah, because I'm going they're all bin two because I'm going with just how the 294 one shot is that size. If you go bin one, you have a much higher resolution on bin one. So yeah, they're quite a bit bigger. Yeah, so that's why mine are all basically 25 meg. But yeah, and the thing is, it's also the reason why you want to have so much storage space is to Tom's point, you want to hold on to your master, hold on to your registered files. A lot of times you want to hold on to your dark, sometimes you want to hold on to your dark and your calibration frames because you may want to perhaps reprocess a little bit later, or maybe you're going to go after that target again the following year and you want to integrate not only what you have this year, but maybe what you had the previous year and see how that all comes together, stuff like that. So having a lot of storage space is highly advisable when it comes to astrophotography because you want to be able to retain as much of this data as you can because you just never know if it's good data and you want to reuse it to maybe learn a little bit more or see what type of rendition you may have as far as your improvement from one year to the next. You did things one way last year and now you've gotten better. Maybe you want to try things again.
Right.
And so you want to take that data again and maybe stack on data you got this year and try a new workflow, whatever it
Yep.
is,
Exactly. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay, I think this is one that I did.
So I keep all my calibration frames. I date them.
Okay, yeah, here you go.
Stuff.
One subframe in bin one, 89.2 megabytes.
Woo!
With the 294.
Woo! Man.
One subframe.
Woo! Basically 90 meg. Wow.
Yeah. It ate up storage on my computer like you wouldn't believe.
But hey, that higher resolution better.
Oh my God, that camera! Outside of the flats issues with that camera, man, if they just could figure out how to make that same chip without the amp glow and the flats issues, man, that would be a hell of a camera.
That'd be a hell of a camera.
I mean, it's still a hell of a camera. It's just hard to get it just
I'd
right.
get back in.
I mean, the amp glow is no big deal because you can, darks will cure that. It's just the flats. Taking flats with that thing was such
horrendous.
Bear, man.
You're like, and it's not the LRGB flats that were a problem. I think for me, it was the narrowband flats.
See, I had the opposite.
Okay.
RGB or narrowband flats weren't that big a deal. It was the RGB flats that just killed me.
Ernie, what's going on?
They just killed me. I always ended up with artifacts that I could not get rid of. Couldn't get rid of. where the narrow bands, for some reason, it didn't affect it as much.
Mm.
But yeah, 90 meg, one subframe from that camera. That was
Nope, I did find some. Yeah, 90 meg. Wow. Because when I did M106, holy cow, I gained 120, bin 91.
there you go. So there you go.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
So 90 meg. That's something. Geez.
Yeah.
See, this I even I don't even have that camera anymore. I still hold on to the data.
I still have that camera, but I
Still
never
hold on to
use
the
it.
data.
So, but if anybody wants to buy a used 294 Pro, it's a great camera. Have fun with the flats, but maybe you can do a better job than I did.
Yeah.
I didn't have my Giotto then either. So maybe that would make a difference, having that auto brightness and getting it just right. Maybe that would help. But man, as far as pictures it took, I mean, it took great pictures.
Okay. So yeah, Seeker, you can definitely, like we say, you can chat here amongst ourselves. Don't forget to hop onto Discord, or reminding everyone we do have a Discord channel. If you have questions, like Seeker is sharing here in the chat, if you have similar questions or other questions that you're getting started with astrophotography and you're curious about hardware, getting started, hardware to process your images, computers, things like that, or getting started with the cameras, telescopes, whatever it may be related to astrophotography, DSLR, it doesn't matter. Just go to our Discord channel and you can drop in a message within, say within any of Astro Image Q&A and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They
equipment questions, imaging questions,
myself,
all that.
Everybody will be more than happy to help you. One thing that I've always said about AstroWorld TV is this is a community. This is what I would consider, me personally. This is my astronomy club. Even though we are not, a brick and mortar local town astronomy club, I think we do a lot of the same things that you would say an astronomy club would do. Of course, astronomy clubs have a lot of other perks, because they're local and you can work hands-on with a lot of people and get that hands-on knowledge, and stuff like that. So definitely continue to support your local astronomy club. But hey, we're here as a supplemental too. So
yep. And a lot of times, like I was saying, we can at least guide you to potentially a video on YouTube that you can watch. And when I was learning and everything, it was one thing, I'd pull up a video and go through the processing of an image with the video, and kind of go through it the same way they were doing it and see how my image came out, and then tweak things here or there depending on what my results were compared to their results. But at least that way you kind of get an idea of a workflow, because when you're doing astro imaging and you get to the processing part, there is a specific workflow that you kind of want to follow. But once you get that down, it becomes second nature. Okay, this I got to do first. This I got to do second. This I got, and then after that, then it's free flow. Then it's freehand. It's like being an artist. You're. Let me try this. Let me do that. Let's put a little here. Let's do a little over here. Let's and then it's more.
George, you are so right, man. You are so right. You want to hey, I've actually thought about doing this, and maybe when I get to Georgia, I may actually do this.
I could sell plasma for $800 a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can.
I got great plasma, dude.
So, a lot of times the entry when you first get started, you can, like just getting started, they give you quite a bit of money, like $800, stuff like that a month. But it may drop a little bit subsequent months. Not that much, I don't think. But that first month, yeah, you can get about $800, depending on how many times you go. And
yeah. I once bleed for a month.
Heck yeah. I mean, shoot. You basically go do plasma, you donate plasma for
Who's
about,
Swiftwater instructor?
I don't know, but you see, I mean, but seriously, if you donate plasma for 3 months, that's $2,400,
Oh
basically.
yeah, that's a
Or
great mount. You get
that's
yourself a perfect mount.
you've got a perfectly good mount, or you've got the 2600 mono or some other setup. You're set. I mean, seriously. Heck, for that kind of, for 3 months worth of just sitting there, maybe listening to your iPhone or like an audible book or something, chatting with other people around, you're donating plasma. You do that, a few times every month for 3 months. Shoot, you may have enough to have material to build your own roll-off roof observatory. Seriously, you could build your own roll-off roof observatory for just 3 months worth of just sitting on your butt and donating plasma to help other people out with their ailments. So just
Tom, sign me up. Yeah, Tom. Hey, we don't need your blood.
We
don't want Tom's blood. OnlyFans.
Oh man, there you go.
Great.
That's great. That's great, Swiftwater. Yeah, OnlyFans. Oh man,
OnlyFans for a 10 micron. Yeah, no kidding, right?
No kidding, man. Hey, if somebody's willing to see this in the Speedo, hey, for a 10 micron, I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. That's how that's how what's his name affords all his equipment. Greg, what's it? Greg or Mark Ellis.
Yeah.
That's how he affords all that equipment he's got.
George, swipe left. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are great. Oh my gosh. So, but all right, we're a little off the rails here, but you know what?
And we're still talking astrophotography.
We're still talking astro. We're talking about how to
acquire good astrophotography equipment.
Exactly. How to pay for your astrophotography fix, your astrophotography, addiction or anything like that.
Brings us back to the topic of, I heard the devil went down to Georgia.
Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Hey, Kevin, I'm more than happy. Hey, there you go. Thanks for painting that picture, Eric.
I will break out some SCNR for extra money.
Oh man, you guys are great. You guys are great. But no, I mean, if you are just getting started, definitely, like we were talking earlier, check out Pix Insight. Seriously, you get 45 days to try it out. If you can't, you go and download or join a live photon to photo session or the newbies or intermediate session for $35. And you just follow along and you learn. And a lot of learning is by doing. That's how I learned. I learned not just by hearing this stuff. I learned by just following and repeatedly doing it. Then eventually it's like, oh yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what all of it means, but I know it works.
It does work. If you want to know what it means, you join Adam Block's website, and he'll tell you the nuts and bolts about it, and why it's doing what it's doing, and why you would change this slider or that slider. But
exactly.
In fact, I just got a notification saying my subscription is due to renew, and it's going to auto renew in a month. So. But it's worth it.
I love scope to steal. He was
I'm
on
a
the
geek
dashboard
where
AFI.
I'm a nuts and bolts guy. Working on cars it's one thing to be a parts changer on a car. I don't want to just change parts. When people bring their cars to me and they have a problem, I want to know where the problem is. Okay, it's in this system. Okay, I want to know how exactly this system works and what's causing the problem so that I can make sure that I'm fixing it the right way. So I'm a nuts and bolts guy. I want to know how this stuff works.
Yeah.
And so with Adam Blog, I mean, I'm a geeky guy like that to where, oh, well, now that I've had PixelSight for a while and I start watching his videos, I'm like, oh, wow, that's what that does.
And let's be honest, for the amount you're spending on PixInsight compared to if you really go down the rabbit hole and you're making an investment on lots of different pieces of equipment, the cost for PixInsight is pennies on the dollar.
Oh yeah, it's nothing.
What you are investing in with equipment.
The hardware it's the hardware that costs the most. It's the biggest sting to your wallet. But like Pete used to say, you buy once, you cry once. But you can go the cheap route and buy an inexpensive refractor or something like that.
You can buy
cheap focusers and stuff like that, and you'll get good results, but you're not going to be satisfied. And then you have to go out and buy something better, and then you have to get something better, and it's just the key is to figure out what you want to do.
Yes.
What you really are interested in imaging, whether it be deep field or wide field, or both. I have a long reach and I have a short reach. I don't have a Schmidt. I did. It wasn't very good. I donated it to Reach for the Stars because it was worth donating, and I didn't want to have it to go to waste. But eventually, one of these days, I probably will get a Schmidt. Just not right now because I'm not, I don't feel like I need it at the moment.
Right.
But the most important thing is, like we've always said, is the mount.
That's it. That's the
I made the mistake of buying an inexpensive mount, and it worked fine, but it didn't have the weight capacity I wanted. And then I went out and bought the Mac Daddy at the time, which was EQ6. I couldn't afford EQ8, but I didn't have any, I wasn't putting 100 pounds on the mount.
Right.
So, but the EQ6 was a great mount. I jumped on it when it became available, and I'm glad I did because 6 months later, it was $500-600 more than what I paid for. So it was like, oh, thank God I bought mine when I did. And, it was great, and it served me well for a long time. And I just recently, a couple months back, got the Warp Astron, the Strainwave mount.
And how do you like it?
I'm loving it, dude. It's really good. I mean, on average, 0.5 arc seconds.
That's
and
great.
on really good seeing nights, down to 0.35, 0.32. Yep. I mean, it's great. So, but I want to eventually run 2 rigs. I'll put the EQ6 back up. I'll put that big beefy 127 back on that EQ6 because that thing's heavy as hell. I mean, I probably could put it on the Warp Astron, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to stress it that much. It works. I mean, the EQ6 with that big 127 works phenomenal. I mean, it works unbelievable.
Yeah,
that EQ6, the heavier weight I put on it, the better it tracked, which is odd. You think, oh, I'd almost max it out, and it got it better.
You got the 20, right?
Yeah, I got the 20. Yeah.
Which is basically about 40 pounds.
I think it's like 44.
Yeah, 44.
Yeah, and that's without counterweight.
Yeah. And with the counterweight, you can probably get up to maybe
65 or so, 70 maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's just a big thing.
It's such a little itty bitty piece, It's so small. You're like, wow.
And I'm wondering now, and honestly, and I'm wondering this. If you took your WD-20
Mhm.
and you put it and you have it on a pier,
Yeah.
right? Would you still really need that counterweight? Because usually, isn't it the reason why you have the counterweight? It's because they're assuming you're going to put this on a tripod and you are going to have an
To keep
issue
it from tipping over.
over and stuff like that. Exactly, because of the weight of your OTA and your rig, it could end up tipping over if you don't have that counterweight to balance things out, to keep things. But if you
Because
have
I don't know, because there's no way to balance them.
right, there's
So
exactly.
even you put a counterweight on, it's like, well, they lock.
But yeah,
The
but
RA locks. You
maybe
can't figure out where the balance is.
yeah, and maybe it's just to help prevent because you're usually putting these on a tripod, right? You usually want to put them on like those carbon fiber tripods or those lightweight tripods.
That's true. Where I
So
have mine on my EQ6 tripod,
right,
which
and so which is
ain't
pretty
going
rock
anywhere.
solid. Yeah, it ain't going
Yeah,
anywhere.
right.
So that way, if you're using like those carbon fiber tripods, I would understand putting on a counterweight because
Yeah,
you have
once it gets over to a certain length,
to a same
then
length,
it might go,
yes.
whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
exactly. But if
that's
you're on a
true.
pier, if you're on a pier and that sucker ain't going anywhere,
Right. Man, that's a good question. That's a question to ask. You know
that
what? I'm on the Warp Astron, their Discord kind of thing. I'll ask that question and
yeah,
find out. I'll get back to you
yeah,
and just see what they say. Hey, well,
that's
I guess not
right.
really.
Tripod for Warp Astron. You know what? You can use there are several because I was looking at the Warp Astron and the center mount bolt is I believe a
3/8. Yeah, 3/8
so
course.
basically you can utilize like your EQ6 my Celestron AVX, which I
Yeah,
believe is a 3/8,
yeah.
and they have such beefy legs, right?
Hmm.
That you put that sucker on there and you tighten that lock that sucker down, it ain't gonna go nowhere.
No, no.
You're gonna be good to go.
So I can tell you, in the bottom of the Warp Astron mount, it's got the center bolt that's 3/8
Yes.
course.
3/8,
Okay.
3/8. Yep.
Now there are
Like M6.
uh, three other 6 millimeter
Yeah,
bolts.
yeah, M6 bolts.
That for me, what I did is, so my EQ6 mount, I have the peer adapter.
Okay.
The little extension,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because I had to get that with the 127 because
Hmm.
the thing's so damn long. It was going to hit the legs if I didn't.
Hmm.
So I put it on that, and the top adapter to that, where the EQ6 has the peg and the thing that comes off.
Yeah.
You just unscrew the peg, and I measured out where those 3 6 millimeters were,
Hmm.
and I drilled holes through that adapter plate that goes on top, so that I could put 3 6 millimeter bolts. So I've got the 3/8 holding it sturdy,
Yep.
and then I've got the three little 6 millimeter bolts in there to make sure it won't rotate
Exactly.
either.
Exactly.
So it's set
Yeah.
firm as can be. And
Yeah.
like I said, that EQ6 mount, I mean tripod, it's heavy and it's not going anywhere.
Not going to, yeah.
And I have the legs completely in. So
Mhm.
it's at its lowest point,
Mhm.
and then the peer extension, and it's,
Jackie's asking, could I use a Nexstar tripod? You know
you
what?
could
I think you
probably.
can. Yeah, I think you might be able to.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I don't have my Nextstars anymore. I sold it, so I can't go and grab one to say yes or no.
But I
But
think the Nexstar tripod does have a 3/8
yeah,
center
I
bolt.
think it's Cinnabon.
So yeah,
Yeah,
so I think you probably could.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but it's a great mount. It works fantastic.
yeah.
And granted, the on step program that it runs off of is a little quirky.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't like it as much as um, with the EQ6. You're using EQ mod, or the what was it, green swamp.
Okay.
Those work great. I tried Green Swamp for a while. I had some goofy stuff happen one time in the middle of the night, and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. The EQ mods worked flawlessly for me, so I just stuck with that. But the on step, it works. It's just you have to get the setup and make sure it's all set up just right and everything. And I don't have any problem. It seems to be working flawlessly. In fact, it's working right now as we speak, and I will tell you it is guiding at 0.55 with probably mediocre at best seeing right now. So
yeah, the carbon fiber tripod that comes with the AM5, I wouldn't personally trust, right?
Unless you're going to put a weight bag underneath it. That's what everybody says. Put a weight bag underneath it, and it's sturdy as hell.
Okay, there you go.
But because it has no weight of its own, because they're so lightweight, you know, if it potentially can tip over. Especially, you know, once you've slewed to a certain point, where most people that I've seen, they say, you know, they'll tie, you know, a bag of rocks underneath it or a bowling ball underneath it to secure it.
Steve even said, he commented, I run the Warp Astron WD-17 with a carbon fiber tripod for when he's traveling away from home. So get a tripod with a stone sling, basically.
Yeah, a stone sling, exactly. Yeah.
So that's what you want.
Yeah.
Warfredo says he uses a 25-pound kettlebell weight.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, yeah, because carbon fiber legs, you're not going to break the legs.
Right.
Just adding weight to them. It's just more for stability. That's what you want. Yeah. Because that's the thing. That's the nice thing about, you know, those mounts and those tripods. They're so lightweight, you can go anywhere with them. You can carry them on your back. It's not a problem. Now, granted, you know, if you have a bag and wherever you're going, you just carry the bag and you find a couple big heavy rocks, shove them in the bag and tie it on there. You know, it's not like you have to carry that big kettlebell anywhere. You just carry the bag with you. When you're done, dump the bag and head back to where you came from. So,
yeah, Wilfredo says, I don't like the AM5 tripod when it's extended all the way. Yeah, it's, you know, when you lower it down.
Hold my beer.
There you go. Yeah. George, you hold my beer.
The only problem with that, George, is, you know, it can hold my beer, but it's going to get lighter and lighter and lighter as the night goes on because, you know, I'll be drinking that beer.
Now, the one thing that maybe you can also help me understand, which I understand is probably a much better feature in the strain wave mounts, is the motors that these are using. Now, a lot of the motors that you see from the AM5, Ioptron, Pegasus Astro, they use stepper motors.
Stepper motors, yeah.
Now, Warp Astro uses
a direct drive motor.
Okay, or like servo.
Yeah, servos. That's correct.
Yeah,
direct servos.
Direct servo motor. What do you know off the top of your head, or can you tell me like what's the difference or what's the advantage?
So the advantage is it knows that it moved, whereas stepper motor sends the signal to the motor and it goes by steps, and it calculates how many steps it needs to go, where a direct servo knows how far it turned, how far it needs to turn, and everything like that. At least that's the way it was explained to me.
So to Jackie's point here, so there's really no backlash.
Oh, there's none. Every time I run the guiding assistant, I don't even do it anymore. But the first couple of times I did, I was like measuring backlash, you know, and then when it finished, so you have 0.001 backlash, and it's like you basically don't do anything. You virtually have no backlash. So
right. You're good. You're all fine. So right on. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Because at some point, I am going to be in the market myself for a new mount, even though I'm going to keep my CEM60. It's fine. It works fine.
And it
Uh,
holds a heavy. It can hold a heavy scope.
it can have, yeah, it can hold up to 60-pound payload, stuff like
Yep. Yep.
that. But the strain wave mount, it's like even what Steve is saying, traveling, setting up, stuff like that. They're great for that. They're very lightweight. So yeah, that's probably one of the mounts I will keep an eye on.
So, Steve, real quick, you said the handset. What are you running for your imaging? What program are you imaging with? Because I never use the handset. Once I got everything set up, I threw the handset back in the box and it never comes out.
Gotcha.
The only issues I've had with the WD-20 is when I've done polar alignment, and even though it connects to Nina and everything, and I want to slew it to do the polar alignment, it doesn't want to slew. And I don't know what it's going on, but there's a home button on the mount itself. It seems like I just press that home button,
Okay.
disconnect, reconnect, and all of a sudden it's fine after that. So I don't know if that's just something. But as far as the handset, I never use that handset. I mean, Nina runs everything for me with that, and I haven't had any issues. So it took me a while to figure out where to set the limits and everything like that, and how to do how to calculate when it's going to do the meridian flip. But once I got that figured out, it's been fine. I don't worry about a thing.
Yeah, Chris is even saying I use mine to hit go to zero. That's all I use the hand. That's all he uses the hand controller for.
Yeah, I don't even think you needed to do that.
So, and don't forget, if you are interested in a Warp Astro WD-17 or WD-20, reach out to Dan at AstroWorldTelescopes.com, and he is a authorized dealer and can help you out.
I see. So he says for solar, he could do with the handset. So yeah. So for solar, he's using Nina, but he says for solar, he likes to have the handset to help dial him in.
Okay.
Yeah. For somebody who doesn't do solar or planetary, I mean, I couldn't say one way or the other.
Sure.
But it is a little goofy, little tiny, little things like this big, and it's just like it's like a keypad, and it's kind of wonky. Unlike the EQ6R, it's got the SynScan. It's nice, big hand controller, and a little easier to use.
Hey there, Karek. How are you? Welcome. So you can't touch your phone or iPad. The AM5 is set to park where the OTA is parallel to the ground. Really sucks. So you have to use the handset to put it back straight for parking in the morning. Okay.
Huh. It's interesting.
That's interesting to know. But like I said, probably AM5 or AM3 is probably not on my list. So one thing is looking at strain wave is of course because it is so lightweight. How heavy, or what's the weight?
I think it's like 17 kilograms, whatever that is. It's not very heavy. I mean, when you're holding it in your hand, you're like, "Whoa, it's got some beef to it." But it's compared to the EQ6, where it's like two hands going, "Oh my God, I gotta," it's nothing. It's nothing.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can hold it in one hand.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Very good. All right. Let's see if any other comments, anything like that. But getting back to what, the main thing is the mount, make the investment in the mount. If you're going to get into this seriously, make the investment in your mount. Because optics, you can easily improve on and stuff like that, and it won't be that bad to improve on that type of stuff. But you need stability. You need tracking, you need reliable tracking. Those are the reasons why you want to have a very good mount, a stable mount. So that's why you really want to look for a really good mount, and you want to make that investment. It's because of its track, of how well it will track, how much backlash sometimes you have to deal with, especially with you doing, with your guiding or anything like that. Just those pulses commands, sometimes the pulses it sends to your mount, you may have to deal with certain levels of backlash, and so, and having that strain wave there, you don't have that issue. Really, you really don't have that issue unless you're using the stepper. You have a stepper motor, you have a bit of backlash, but yeah.
So the Warp
M40
Astro is 5.4 kilograms. So 11 or 12 pounds.
about 12 pounds.
12 pounds.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. Yeah, Ernie, none of us are getting any younger, and that's one of the reasons why, the strain wave harmonic drive mount popularity has skyrocketed.
Yeah. So lightweight,
You
easy
know,
to travel with.
yes, easy, because it gets harder and harder, especially if you're a type that you don't have a permanent setup and you have to take things in and out of your garage, all of that stuff. It weighs on you. It No pun intended, but it weighs on you. And that's, after a while, you're gonna get tired of that. And so yeah. Now, one thing, I need to go ahead and do that. I keep putting it off. I need to get onto Cloudy Nights, talking about taking in things in and out of the garage. I've got a JMI wheelie bar, the medium wheelie bar, um, with the self-leveling.
Oh, yeah, you're trying to sell that, right?
Yeah, I keep forgetting to put it out, so I'm gonna have to, and I'm gonna have to do that because I don't need it anymore. Even if I go to Georgia, I'm not gonna use it.
Yeah, put it on Cloudy Nights, put it on Facebook Marketplace,
$100 and say, hey, if you guys are in the area and if you guys want this, come get it.
Come and get it. Yeah.
Come and get it. 'Cause I'm not meeting anybody. You guys come and get it. It's all yours. There you go. And it's got the no flat tires.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
put no flat. I put nice rugged no flat tires on that thing. So, and that, and I was using that with my CGX when I had my CGX, and that's how I got that sucker around, going back and forth from my garage to the backyard was, pulling that sucker.
Swiftwater, looking for that tricked out EQ6R to dip below 1K. Good luck.
Good luck.
They're still going for like $2,000 on high
point. Exactly. Good luck. So
mine's tricked out. I'll never sell it though.
yeah.
I'll keep that mount forever.
I'll have to run outside. I'll have to run in my garage to take a look. I want to say it's 6 tires, but it could be just 4, 2, 2 up front and then two in the rear, and they're all no flats. But I need to go and take a look at it. But yeah, it could be, dual tires on each end.
Each axis.
Yeah, each axis. So, but yeah, I have to take a quick look at it. Yeah, but it's solid. I've had it for a couple years, and It's good. Anyway, we're about at 20 till, and I am out of topics to talk about, to be honest. I am out of topics to talk about. So it's just been, I apologize, folks. It's just been one of those nights, one of those days. It's going to be one of those weeks.
One of these nights.
Exactly.
One of these crazy old nights.
Yep. So,
For traveling,
yeah.
some idiot brought the wrong car to tow a caravan and carry my Astro kit.
Jeez. Have a good night, Jackie.
See you, Jackie. Put that sun picture in.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, get.
I'm gonna get a pseudonym and start entering into the novice.
Swiftwater is asking any word on Orion. Orion, as far as the company itself?
No,
No,
I don't think so. Dan would know better than anybody, I think, but
I think so.
the last I heard is them and Mead are Dunsky.
Yeah, it's not been looking very good. But yeah. Okay, so I know we've got a few more, 20 more minutes or less than 20 minutes, but I'm gonna call it a night, me personally.
That's fine.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for you, Dave? Anything?
Well, we'll go back to Pix and Site and everything like that. Seeker, if you're talking about getting everything together for next June, you got some time. But mount, get yourself a good quality scope but figure out what you want to do. Deep field, wide field, but start there. One of those, get the proper OTA that you want, and then definitely look into Pix and Site. There are some free stacking software out there, and processing software out there, but they don't have the power or the ability that Pix and Site's going to have. And you might like it, but you're not going to be happy with it. So, but those are the keys. Watch videos. That's what I did. Just watch Trevor, watch Dylan, watch Sean, watch Steve Miller. Those guys all have been doing this. They've been putting content on YouTube for years. They know what they're doing. They'll help you along the way, and you'll learn a ton, so that by June, ideally, you'll be able to set everything up, press play, and roll on through it. As far as imaging software, if you're going to go the ZWO route, yeah, you can get an ASI Air. But other than that, Nina is free. Nina is open source. Nina is hands down the best imaging software that you can get for nothing. And you'll never regret that.
Big time. All right, cool. Well, that's it for tonight's show. Again, Dave, thank you so much for being a wingman and hanging out with me.
No problem.
Don't forget, next week, Dr. Sass will be on. So join us next week for his big reveal, his big announcement. Dan will be back on Friday. I will go ahead and get the poll up and running. So, maybe about an hour or so, it should be up and ready to go if you guys are still up. If not, check it out tomorrow and check out and vote for your image of the week choice for November 1st, for our first November run. And until then, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. And as always, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you guys next time. See you on Friday, everybody.
Peace out.
Yeah.